There are two important ways to think about blockchain. The first is as a new internet protocol, which is a means of transferring data from one node to another, one computer or user to another. The other way that you'll commonly hear it described is as a distributed ledger technology, which is a fancy way of saying it's an accounting system. It's a way of keeping track of inputs and outputs, or the transference of information or stores of value from one person to another. The use case of blockchain that you've probably heard about is cryptocurrency. And this is essentially the transference of tokens or digital assets that represent stores of value. This is only one of the many potential use cases of blockchain. Today, we've seen the explosion of other types of tokens, alternative cryptocurrencies, NFTs or non-fungible tokens. And these are different ways of storing value or designating ownership of digital goods. When it comes to other potential use cases of blockchain, I think it's important to remember that it goes beyond just the transference of value. While that might be the most appealing use case right now, and for many folks, it's been the most easy to understand in terms of sending or receiving something like money, I think when we look at the future of blockchain, we want to look for examples of ownership. We want to look at institutions where verifiability, transferability, and security are of importance. The more that we transfer the activities of our lives and of our work to the internet or to the digital space, the more important it will be for tokens or other sorts of technologies to represent things like ownership, to represent certifications. Imagine, for instance, you were to graduate from a university, say a Darden MBA program, and you received a degree. That credential could live on the blockchain forever associated with your user account. That way, no matter what happens to the institution or to other records that might be on paper or centralized servers, you have an irreversible representation that you have completed that certificate program. Especially because of the accelerated pace at which the technology is developing today, it is really important for regulation and also organizations that are developing this technology to try to safeguard against some of these harms. Because as we all know, and we see this with phishing calls and spam emails all the time. If there's an opportunity for somebody to take advantage of you, they'll probably try it. When it comes to AI, it seems like it's dominating the conversation this year. Whereas 2 years ago, all the rage was NFTs, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, metaverse. Technology is moving quickly and it's really difficult to keep up with these trends. But the really important thing to understand is that these technologies are likely here to stay. So what we need to figure out now are how blockchain and AI going to complement one another, potentially safeguard against some of the risks that each one in isolation poses. For example, with artificial intelligence, especially the generative technologies that we're seeing today, how do we know that this image or this document was created by an actual human being? How do we know that artificial intelligence wasn't used to fake something or create a video file or an audio recording that isn't actually true? Blockchain could potentially help in some of the verifiability or credentialing of these applications, but how those things will be executed have yet to be figured out. So students in the Darden program should expect to gain exposure to all of these new technologies, at least at a level deep enough to understand how they might be used in a business setting. You'll gain exposure to blockchain technology, to artificial intelligence, including generative AI, to metaverse technology, as well as augmented and virtual reality technology. You'll be able to experience hands-on exposure with these tech, but more importantly, you'll discuss with faculty and your colleagues how these might change the way that you are doing business in your organization today, or how it might change the industries in the future. I think more interestingly, the Darden program will also give us an opportunity, and both faculty and students alike, to think about what new forms of business, what new business models, what new cultures, what new industries or ways of organizing people and ideas can emerge as a result of these new technologies. I think that is really where the promise of these technologies lie. And both from a research and a business perspective, where we're going to see the most opportunity.